So I have a couple of straps here that I need to make. One is, this one, the long one, is for a crossbody strap for my, I guess my hack on the clematis. The other one is the wrist strap. So I had talked about that I have a different way of doing it. It's not really super different. I don't know how else to put it, but I just do mine, instead of having the wider straps, I do mine narrow. I use either 1/2 inch or sometimes I use 3/4 inch on the wrist strap. This I had a request for a custom one, and she wanted the same strap as I did on mine, which is a 1/2 inch wide, and it's long. I did mine 52 inches long is what I started off with, and she wanted the same thing. My wrist straps I cut at 15 inches long, and I do them 2 inches wide. So the way that I do my straps is the measurement, I do them where I fold them into the center and then fold them again. So whatever width of hardware you're going to use, you need to multiply that by 4, and that's the width that you're going to use. So I'm going to be doing 1/2 inch straps, so I need to multiply that by 4, so that's 2 inches. So what I'm going to start off with is a piece that's 2 inches wide, and the wrist strap is going to be 15 inches long. The crossbody strap, this is not one that's going to be adjustable. She likes mine, so that's the way that I'm going to make it. And I'm starting off 52 inches long and 2 inches wide. So the basic method is the same on both of them. The wrist strap is going to be one continual piece, and so that one has a little bit more to it. So I will show you that one. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, I do have a chalk line on here, but I'm going to do it a little bit better. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to find my halfway point, and I'm just going to mark it. None of this is going to be seen, so it doesn't matter whether you use a pen or chalk or whatever. So hopefully you can see that. I just have my line down the center. The next thing I'm going to use is my double-sided tape. I'm going to start back just a little bit so I don't have my tape in the seam allowance. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance at the end. That's close enough. I'm going to leave my tape on, and I'm going to put my hardware on. So here I've got my little swivel clasp. This gets a little tight, but I like the look of it. So I'm going to fold this together. I'm going to do it roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as I can thread my hardware on. And I'm just going to kind of move it down a little ways. And I've left the tape, or the backing, the paper, on my double-sided tape. So this, I'm going to just line this up, and I'm going to do my 1/4 inch seam across here. So I've got my seam, so I have a continuous loop. I'm going to carefully just peel back. This doesn't always work the greatest. Just going to peel back a little bit on both sides. I'm going to fold this back. So typically, the little bit of tape there will hold my seam down. Now you can, if you want to, you can top stitch, keep those down. That's fine. I don't. That's just my choice. And hopefully this will work. These are these little places where if I can get this tape to stick onto it, it works really well. Sometimes it wants to come off, sometimes not. And it's not going to cooperate with me very well here. See if I can get some of it to stay on. Nope, it's not going to. So I'm just going to use a little piece of double-sided tape. So I'm just going to cut off just a little tiny bit. Stick that down. There we go. So I'm going to start by sticking these down to each other, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to pull back a little bit more until I'm all the way around. And that also means that you have to move your hardware around as well as you go. So I'm just going to kind of try to carefully get this lined up and get it stuck down. Now this vinyl that I'm using is it's a really soft vinyl. I really like it because it has a woven backing on it instead of the usual knit back. And I think that it actually makes everything a lot thinner, so that it doesn't seem so thick when I'm sewing it. I can top stitch this quite easily with my domestic machine, but I like using the thicker thread and stuff, so I'll use my industrial. So I'm just going around and I'm just bringing it into that center mark. I'm just going to continue all the way around doing that. And just before I turn the camera off here for a minute, I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to get this kind of straightened out a little bit, and I'm going to move my hardware. I can fold this in half. Of course, now I have the hump where the seam is, but this stuff is really quite thin, so it actually moves over that quite easily. So then I can just continue on. So that's what I'll do. So now I have all the way around, I have everything turned toward the middle. So I'm going to go around and just going to clip the one edge. So again, just matching it up, getting it nice and even, and then I'm going to top stitch all of this. Now this is the first time you guys are probably going to get to see my my industrial machine with my new synchronizer motor. This is amazing. I just love it. So yeah, again, because this is such nice soft vinyl, I could very easily do it on my domestic machine, but I like the thicker look of the thread on this. So I'm using Tex 90 thread, and I'm leaving my stitch length at about 4.5. So my industrial machine now, with this synchronizer motor, it always stops in needle down position, and as soon as I want the needle up, all I have to do is press on the heel of my my pedal. So and it has soft start, so it's not scary anymore. It goes so nice and slow and so beautiful, but it can go very, very fast as well. I just don't need it to do that because I'm doing purses. I'm not doing tarps and things like that. So I'm just going to go all the way around with this top stitching, trying to keep everything out of the way here. around this so that you can see what happens when I get to my hardware. Nothing major, but so my hardware is coming up. The easiest thing to do is just to slide that hardware out of the way. I just had the hump there where my seams all intersected, so. And again, I don't back stitch when I start off, normally anyway, with my industrial. I'm going to go over a couple of stitches, but what I'm going to do before I get to that point is I go underneath. I know that this is the top, so I'm going to go to this. Like this is for top stitching. This is actually, this side will be what I use as my top. So I'm going to just pull on that. You can see it pulls the top stitch, the top stitching. Sorry, bump you here. Just going to go in there, grab that stitch and pull that down. And I'm going to continue sewing just a couple of stitches or so past. So it stops needle down, press my heel, goes a needle up, and we're good to go. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail as well when I cut this off, because I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to pull this one to the back as well. So now I have all 4 of my threads to what will be the back of, and this will actually end up getting hidden. Now, very often what I choose to do, and I'm not saying this is the right thing, there's probably lots of people out there that are far more knowledgeable, but this works for me. I'll just put a little tiny dot of fray check just at the very inside here, and let that tack up a little bit, and then I'll trim my all my threads off. So then from the top, this isn't extremely beautiful. I've kind of gone over a little bit. Ideally, I would be going almost in the exact same holes, but I'm good with this. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do the exact same thing and zip around the other side as well. So this is a little bit nicer. This is what I like to see in my stitching a little bit more. So I've gone back just a couple of stitches. This is on the opposite side. This was the first one that I did, and this is the second. And I went back over pretty much the same stitches. Did the same thing, pulled everything to the back. So now I'm going to just put a little drop of fray check at the back of all of these, just to keep those threads from ever coming loose. And the next thing we're going to do, the reason why I'm not super concerned about the fact that this wasn't as perfect as I would like it, is because I'm going to be putting rivets there anyway, so you're not really going to see it. So I'll be back and show you that. So here I am set up now. I've got my rivet press set up. I have my punch right here, and I'm going to kind of use the seam a little bit as a guide to center. Go through both pieces, give it a little twist, make sure that everything's through. Take my rivet. I'm using small rivets for this. These are 8mm. And snap my cap on there. And I'm just going to put it in my press. Just have to give it a little bit of pressure. Double check, make sure, yep, it's on there really well. And it's ready to go. So that's the wrist strap method that I use. You can use 2 rivets in there if you like. You can do however you want. This is just the way that I choose to do these, and they seem to go over with my customers. So now the next one I'm going to do is the long strap. That one's pretty basic. the same idea for that. I make my line all the way through, put my double-sided tape on. I'm going to fold it over on both sides. I don't have to put my hardware on yet for that. And then I'm going to fold it in half. So when I come back, I'm going to have my tape on here. I'm going to have everything folded. And I'll show you what I do. So I've got everything folded and clipped. There's nothing special. I've got raw edges on both ends. And what I like to do, again, this is personal preference, is I'm going to start my strap top stitching back from the edge, from the corner. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to stop back from that raw edge. I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to go back up all the way around, do the same thing on the other side, and come back to this point. So I'm going to do it all in one kind of big loop. Doesn't matter, I can do one more stitch here. Turn my corner. Again, the great thing about that synchronizer motor is that it goes so nice and slow. I've got such great control. So I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'll come back. So I've done my top stitching all the way around, and I've come back. So I've come across and back, and I've left a little bit of room here. Most of you would know that when you do it this method, rarely are your edges even. So I don't even try to make sure that that's all nice and even, but I just stay back a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to, what I'm aiming for is the same distance. It's a little more than 1/8 of an inch of what my edge stitching is. That's the distance that I want here as well. So I'm going to do that on both ends. So it actually, even though it is a raw edge, it still has a fairly finished look. Once I put my hardware on, this is going to get folded over, and I'm going to put a rivet in there. So that's going to finish it off. Now this is not, I sell my clematis bags for $40. With the straps and stuff, I charge another $10 for the crossbody. So this isn't a high-end strap. It's not that I don't think that it's important. I just don't feel the need to make sure that I have folded edges and stuff like that on just a little strap like this. It's not a real big feature of the bag, and that's why I choose to do it that way. Again, put the hardware on. These, I've got it measured out. Sorry, I'm using the lines here, and I'm just shy of 1 inch. Again, I'm going to center my punch so that I'm punching the hole close to the center of 3 rows of stitching, or the 3 sides of the stitching, I guess I should say. Put my rivet together. Oh, got that one really off center. That one I might just have to redo. So there I have my 2 swivel clasps on the ends of my crossbody strap. Again, she told me the length that she wanted. She wanted the same as mine. Mine was, I started off at 52 inches and have the extra inch over here. So yeah, so that's what those look like. And the top stitching matches the top stitching that I did on her clematis. She decided after that she wanted both the straps, so that's why I did it that way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you. Again, it's not that my methods are a whole lot different than other people's, but I guess at least I do a video for you so you can actually see me in action. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks. Bye.